Hey you, welcome back. I'm Nat from Nat's Numbers, also known as the Numerology Chick over on Instagram. In this week's video, I am going to be talking about why numerology can absolutely change your life. I'm doing this video in part because I still get asked at dinner parties, in my DMs, by people like in my personal life a lot. So wait, you make a living as a numerologist? Like, people pay you good money to learn what their numbers are? So in this video, I'm going to address why numerology is experiencing such a heyday, why people find that this tradition is so effective and it gets them results. I'm going to cover what I've found to be one of the greatest deficiencies in our lives today that creates so much unneeded suffering, the symptoms that this might be a deficiency that's occurring in your life, and how numerology solves this fundamental problem, how it is this like magical key to finally give you the things that you need to step into your power and to step into success. So if you find these videos helpful, if you want more Friday morning uploads, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share with friends and family. It helps out a lot. Now let's dive in. So what is this great deficiency? One of the greatest deficiencies that I've seen in our lives and the lives of my clients, in my own life, that can cause such grief, lifelong grief, is not having an awareness or a feeling of our own unique power or of our own individual greatness. Why? Why does this happen? And I've thought long and hard about this, and the short answer is our parents. But this isn't going to be like a parent bashing session. Basically what happens is that as we go through life, we are looking to a guide or a guardian to witness us and to see our greatness. We're looking for someone to mirror that back to us, and very few of us have that. And I think that this is really at the root of why we might not know ourselves, why we might not then take care of ourselves and our precious dreams, is because we are not taught how to. When we reach a certain level of maturity in our life, I think what ends up happening is we metaphorically like pull back the curtains of our parents' lives, of our guardians' lives, of the people that we've been seeking approval from, and we find that these powerful giants are actually small, fragile children who are fumbling like novices through life like the rest of us, you know? We find that behind that curtain there are deserts in their den. Their lips are chapped from like a spiritual drought. And I imagine that they've like fashioned armor like a scared kindergartner from mud and twigs and pine needles to protect themselves. And if we were to really look at them, we would find that they're standing there like these pudgy-kneed toddlers, still fresh, wide-eyed, and uncertain about life. These people that we look to witness us, to see us, to give us permission to be who we are, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they are. And in the confusing thicket of their own lives, they cannot see us. And you know, I think that that small child in us is waiting, and it's this like beautiful yet heart-wrenching instinctive loyalty that we have, that we wait. You know, we wait, we think, oh, if I just stay quiet and small enough and wait long enough, that they will mend their wounds and they will finally see me. They will finally see and acknowledge and awaken my greatness. So this deficiency is real. Okay, the greatest deficiency that we experience in our life that creates so much suffering is not knowing our own individual greatness, not knowing our own individual power, because we are hoping that somebody else will see it, will acknowledge it. And so what happens then when we don't have a moment or a series of moments in our lives where we awaken to this power? What happens is then we go and we navigate through life like this flimsy paper doll, And, you know, even if there's this very subtle wind that passes by, it floors us. You know, we become this empty container, I think, that can be filled by anyone and anything. It's easy for us to be manipulated. It's easy for us to be abused. Knowing ourselves, knowing our power, knowing what makes us extraordinary is so important, because if we don't, then what ends up happening is we are vulnerable. And then we suffer from, here are some of the most common symptoms. We suffer from existential insecurity. We don't know our worth. We don't know what we deserve. We don't know that we can command our own presence and our own lives. We suffer from social anxiety. We isolate ourselves. We experience sadness. A lack of synergy, where we don't feel like we're being our true selves in certain categories of our lives or in our lives as a whole. And we become a doormat for other people's expectations and desires for who we should be. I have clients that come to me that are in their 70s and 80s, by the way, who tell me that their biggest regret is not investing the time and energy in knowing themselves, loving themselves, and seeing themselves. When they look back on their lives, they wish that they had lived life a different way, that they, in essence, had decided to become their own best friend and their own advocate, and witnessed their greatness first before other people do. So the solution, numerology is an incredible way to get a glimpse at your greatness. You know, it's kind of like it orients your gaze to your original parent, you know, the most creative, infinite source of existence. Some call that God. I call that the 0-point field, or the unlimited field of possibilities. But it's the field of energy where we came from. It's the place that we'll go back to when we're done here. This original parent designed you in a particular way. And numerology is like getting access to your own personal scroll. It's like you unroll it and you dust it off, and you get to see your spiritual DNA. And you get to be reminded of something that I think you already know on a deeper level, that you are not an accident, you know? There is something special about you. When you find out what your numbers are, you get goosebumps, because you realize when you were a little kid, yeah, you felt this purpose on your heart. You felt this calling to step into this role of your life path number. You were born with this incredible set of gifts that your expression number describes. You've always had this fundamental need of your heart's desire number, that if you're not receiving it, you feel that you're starving. You've always had this attraction factor, your personality number, that's talking about one of the great gifts that you have to give people and bring people into your life. And so when you take the time and the energy to fall in love with yourself again, this great deficiency of not knowing yourself and your own exquisite power and worth falls away. And then what ends up happening is you can become the protector of yourself. You can become the parent of yourself, your own advocate, your own cheerleader. And you realize something. You realize you don't have to wait for your parents, your partner, your spouse, your friends, your teacher. You don't have to wait for anybody else to give you permission to be who you are, to step into your greatness. You can give that to yourself. I think that the reason why people's lives are transformed by this work is because there is nothing that makes us weaker than not being ourselves. And there is nothing that makes us stronger than finally deciding to be who we were designed to be. And that's why numerology is having its heyday. That's why this work is so incredibly powerful. Is because if you have that, you can be on your deathbed and look back on your life and be proud. And be proud that you honored and cherished the precious expression of who you are. So that's why people are into numerology. That's why people invest in this work. That's why people get on the newsletter list and receive like 10 emails a day about this stuff. Even though it can be irritating sometimes, is because there is an incredible grief in not ever having anybody in our lives that truly sees us and witnesses who we are. And this work is a doorway into witnessing the beauty of who you are through the eyes of God, through the eyes of this infinite field of energy, this really creative, imaginative realm of energy. So, all right, guys, that is the video for this week. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And I'm always looking for more ideas for my weekly videos. So if you have questions or topics that you want me to cover, please let me know.